I'll be doing group work 5. First question is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected passenger from the Titanic was a survivor. In this case, we would take the total number of people that survived, the total number of people that survived on the Titanic, and divide that by the total number of people that were actually on the Titanic. So 499 divided that by 1316, it would give us a probability of 0.379. Second question is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected child was a survivor. In this case, we would take the total number of children that survived and divide that by the total number of children that were actually on the Titanic. So it would be 57 divided that by 109, which gives us a probability of 0.523. Question 3 is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected survivor was a child. Why is this answer so different from your answer in 2? In this case, we would take the total number of children that survived and we divided it by the total number of survivors, including men, women, and children. So 57 divided by 499, which gives us a probability of 0.1192. This is different. This answer is so different from answering 2 is because for the second problem, we were looking at of the children how many survived, while in this problem we're looking at of the total that survived how many were children. Fourth question is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected third-class passenger was a survivor. In this case, we would set it up as the total number. We would take 182, which is the total number of passengers that survived that were third class, and we divide that by 634, which is the total number of third class passengers that were actually on the Titanic. So 182 divided that by 634 is equal to gives us a probability of 0.29. Question 5 is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected male was a survivor. In this case, we would take the total number of male that survived, 146, and divide that by 805, which is the total number of men that were actually on the Titanic. We divide that and it gives us a probability of 0.18. Question 6 is asking what is the probability that a randomly selected passenger was a survivor, given that they were a third-class male passenger. In this case, we would set it up as taking 75, which is the total men that survived the Titanic that were third-class passengers, and we divide that by 462, which is the total number of men that were actually on the Titanic that were third-class passengers, and that gives us a probability of 0.16. Lastly, if we randomly select our surviving male passenger, what is the probability that they were in the third class? In this case, we would set it up as we would take the total number of men that survived the Titanic that were third-class passengers and divide that by the total number of men that actually survived the Titanic crash. In this case, it'd be 75 divided by 146, which gives us a probability of 0.51.